With an antiquated, minimal fleet and the 25th century right around the corner, the Cardassian Union would seek permission of the Federation Council to begin to construct several new starship designs such as the Detapa and Tain classes, as a part of their newly established peacekeeping force. But what do we know about these early 25th century starship designs? Well, today we'll find out. Hello and welcome to another episode of Truth or Myth Beta Canon, a Star Trek web series that dives into the history of any given topic using beta canon sources and my own imagination to fill in the gaps. In today's episode, we're taking a look at the Cardassian Detapa and Tain classes, as first seen in Star Trek Online, to better understand their place in Star Trek history. Please note, this video is a continuation of my Christmas with the Cardassians event. As with the stories on the Galler and Keldon classes, I'll be using these videos not only to explore the various Cardassian starship designs, but also to delve into the history and relevant information about Cardassians as a whole. So grab yourself some Cardassian fish juice, and prepare yourself for another fun dive into the lore of Cardassia and its people. But as always, because this is just a beta canon video, all information relayed should pretty much be taken with a grain of stardust and only considered a little bit of Star Trek fun. And so, with all that out of the way, let's begin. By the early part of the 25th century, the major galactic powers of the Alpha and Beta quadrants seemed to be turning a page on their old ways of doing things. The Klingon Empire had begun full integrated starship projects with the Federation, furthering the bond of friendship between these two very disparate governments, while the new Free Romulan Republic had completely discarded every facet of the old Star Empire's handling of galactic affairs, in favor of a far more friendly approach to all situations, even engaging with the Federation in several joint scientific endeavors. Even the Cardassian Union, now run by a democratic civilian government, had completely done an about-face on their galactic image. After the Dominion War, the United Federation of Planets had done everything it could to assist with the rebuilding and re-establishment of Cardassia's infrastructure, which had been hit hard during the last days of the war. And although at the time both the Klingon and Romulan empires would push for a permanent occupation of the Cardassian Union, the Federation would instead push to keep Cardassia free under its own government, but with some strict rules in place to ensure she could not threaten war again. And the Federation's diplomatic team would cleverly craft these rules into a new peace treaty, while appeasing both the Klingon and Romulan governments by giving them territories once held by the Cardassian Union. On its face, you might think that these forced concessions would anger the Cardassian people, but then you'd be wrong. During this short and bloody war between the Klingon Empire and the Cardassian Union had seen many of Cardassia's border colonies taken by the Klingon Empire, or simply laid waste by them. And shortly after their entry into the Dominion War, the Romulan Star Empire would themselves destroy many of the Cardassian colonies closest to their space. So, with the Cardassian Union already struggling simply to feed the homeworld, let alone provide needed support to their core system colonies, made the reacquisition of these destroyed and devastated places hardly a necessary goal of the new Detapa Council. And with the Federation's assistance in helping to rebuild their homeworld, the new Cardassian Union would begin to understand and see the benefits of the Federation, even coming to the Federation aid after the Synth attack in 2385. According to the Treaty of Cardassia, the Cardassian Union would have to get approval from the Federation on any major starship design projects. And by the late 2390s, Cardassia had decided it was time for them to build new classes of starship for scientific study, emergency assistance, as well as territory defense. With raiders and pirates a constant issue for both the Romulan and Cardassian people, and the Union having built up trust with them, the Federation Council would decide to give the Cardassian government the permission that they sought. And so, in the early 25th century, the Detapa and Tain classes would be born. Sitting at a length of 419.2 meters, the Detapa class would be designed to be operated by 272 officers and crew members, while its sister starship design, the Tain Class, would sit at a length of 601.3 meters and be designed to be operated by 475 officers and crew members. Both the Detapa and Tain classes would retain the familiar angular lines of their predecessor classes, yet be elegantly updated into a form that seemed fresh and new, like the Cardassian Union itself. Due to the desperate situation Cardassia found itself in after the war, not many technological development projects would be undertaken. This meant that with the restart of the Cardassian fleet construction program, both engine and weapons technology were about 2 decades behind where they should be. Nevertheless, the Cardassians ignored this deficiency, placing their older warp drive units into both classes, while simultaneously having their warp engineers focus on redeveloping their older warp drive. As a result, both classes would have a standard safe cruising speed of warp factor 6, and an emergency maximum speed of warp factor 9.2 for 12-hour increments, at least at launch. Tactically, the Detapa and Tain classes would contain the same armaments as their older sister, the Keldon class, which included spiral wave disruptor banks and torpedo launching systems. The Detapa class would also contain 1 heavy spiral wave lance, while the Tain class would contain 2 of them, 1 forward and 1 aft. However, to make up for its decades out-of-date technology, the Cardassian Union would make some very clever tactical choices. First off, it would develop its own version of ablative hull armor for both classes, with a rating that would rival the best ablative hull armor that Starfleet Command had to offer. But perhaps the most interesting addition to both the Detapa and Tain classes would be that of a cloaking device. Grateful to the Cardassian Unions for their help during the Romulan crisis, the new Free Romulan government would agree to furnish both classes with cloaking devices in exchange for assistance in patrolling the area formerly known as the Neutral Zone. The Cardassian Union would not only run with their new cloaking capabilities, but actually improve upon them, with a faster cloak-to-weapons power transfer that would allow these ships to fire weapons before the uncloaking procedure had been completed. Another interesting addition to both the Detapa and Tain classes would be that of an improved sensor array system. Though previous starship designs had scanners and sensors, they had always been more of an afterthought than anything else, with a focus on tactical aggression. But these 2 classes would be different, with their sensor systems designed specifically for scientific study, with tactical capabilities being a secondary function rather than a primary concern. Both the Detapa and Tain classes would be launched at the same time, with representatives from the Federation, the Free Romulan Republic, and the Klingon Empire being present and marveling at these new Cardassian designs. And both the Detapa and Tain classes would go on to lead the new Cardassian Union through the early and mid parts of the 25th century, with both classes receiving technological updates as the Union developed them. Created to replace their aging fleet, the Detapa and Tain classes would instead become a symbol for a new Cardassia, one which valued friendship and cooperation ahead of conquest and superiority complexes, earning both these classes their newly established fresh place in galactic history. Thank you for watching today's episode of Truth or Myth Beta Canon. What do you think of the Detapa and Tain classes and the historical narrative that I've created here? Do you want to see more videos like this one? Well, leave your comments in the section below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, hitting that little bell icon so you won't miss a single video we release. Want to help the channel redefine itself to impress the galaxy at large? Then consider becoming a channel member subscriber or a channel patron, both a major help that allows this channel to purchase resources and 3D models to keep it going. The link to both memberships is in the description below. Thanks again for watching, live long, and prosper.